Okay, now I'm going. Okay, you've been homeless for a couple years?
A couple years off and on. I've had really bad luck renting apartments from people, and then like this last guy, this month I gave him $280 to stay there for the month.
Yeah.
And not even after 2 weeks does he take away the key and lock me out and tell me to get lost.
Oh no.
You know? And I paid for a month to stay
Was that
there.
here in Pueblo?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was an apartment?
Uh-huh.
Are you from Pueblo?
Yeah, well, kind of. Sure,
Okay.
I've lived other places though.
Okay.
But I have a little tiny bit of family here.
Okay.
So
did you grow up here and then kind of go different places? Or?
No, I moved away when I was 13 and then came back to Colorado in 2000, came back to Pueblo in maybe 2004 or something like that.
Okay.
So I've been here a little over 10 years.
Okay.
But
Are you having a hard time finding a job and stuff, or?
Well, somewhat. Yeah, somewhat. I have a hard time keeping regular jobs and stuff like that. I mostly like to work on my own. I do contract work and computer work and stuff like that. I do security camera stuff, installations and monitoring and stuff like that. But I have a hard time holding down a job where, I've worked at all these call centers here and everything. I've done all that shit. I hate it.
It's
I
not
can't
for you.
stand it. No. I'm better off working on my own.
Okay.
But so right now I'm just trying to kind of get back on my feet. I just put myself in detox last week to get off the drugs and alcohol and stuff. So right now I'm just trying to round up some money so I can go see this doctor that will give me some medicine to keep me off the drugs.
Is it methadone or Suboxone?
No, Suboxone.
Suboxone.
Yeah.
I heard of the Vivitrol too. Have they talked about that?
Yeah, that scares me. It does. It sounds like it's got too many side effects and things like that. And, I mostly want to stay off the heroin.
Okay.
I would, if I want to have a beer once in a while, I don't have a problem with that. But that Vivitrol shit will fuck you up. You can't drink on that stuff.
Oh, I was just talking to one of the doctors, and you can't drink while you're on it.
Yeah, and so that's, I'm not trying to quit drinking.
Okay.
That's not, but I need to stay off the heroin.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't inject or anything like that, but still, it's a habit I don't need, and it's just terrible once you get hooked on it. So I just got out of detox today.
Good.
And I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling so much better. It was a tough couple days. It always is, but it was worth it. But yeah, so to see this doctor, you got to give him $25 to set your appointment. But then once you make the appointment, they give you the $25 back. So it's all good.
Do you know who the doctor is? Do you know the
Pollock.
Pollock. Oh yeah. I've heard good things.
And a bunch of people told me really good things and everything. So I'm optimistic.
Good.
So I'm gonna stay clean until I get that money, make the appointment, and see where I can go there. Because I've stayed off the dope for 5.5 months, like 2 years ago with the Suboxone. So it works for me.
Good.
And I can be successful. And so that's really my goal right now. And after that, I'll start running my ads and stuff on Craigslist again and picking up work.
Just contract work.
Yeah. Because I get a lot of responses and things. I don't have a vehicle, which makes it hard to do a lot of jobs. But, some I can work out. So it's just I haven't been running my ads lately because I was so messed up,
Yeah.
It's just like when you're chasing around trying to get better every morning, it's hard to be working, So it's like I really needed to end that.
How easy is it for you to get the heroin here? Is it just you just walk down the street and or how do you that?
No, you'd have to know somebody really. I mean, it's not very easy for me. The guys I used to know all got busted and stuff, but you'd have to know somebody really.
Okay. It's just like word of mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't really understand how big of a problem it is, because I'm surrounded by it, but most people aren't, so
it's really affected our youth too, so
yeah, which is
that's
sad.
why my son's not here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's alive.
Good.
He's in recovery, but
yeah,
he's young. I mean, he started at 14, so.
Oh yeah, wow.
So yeah.
Well, and I was also thinking about going to this homeless camp thing that they got in Lyons or something like that.
Is that
Have you
Lyons,
heard of
Colorado?
that? Yeah, they've got this old prison that they converted to take in, like, I guess there's like a couple hundred homeless people that they give them classes, place to live. There's different pathways you can take. I think you can maybe like further your education or learn how to get a job or something like that, things like that. You know what I mean? But I think they offer some drug treatment stuff and stuff like that. And if, I don't want to, you can't live on the streets and not do drugs and drink.
Really?
I mean, I can't just live under this bridge and cope with it without drugs and alcohol. That's impossible. So, for me to be able to quit drugs and alcohol, like, I need to get off the streets too. So
where do you sleep at night?
Outside.
Outside, wherever you can.
Wherever
I noticed
I won't get bothered.
Really? Do they bother you guys when you're here? Because I see people kind of here in and over in that area. I see some people.
Yeah, all those kids. I know those kids that hang out over there, and they all got tickets for hanging out over there. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't have any money to pay the tickets.
No, that just turns into a warrant.
Yeah, and because I was talking to this couple the other day, because he got ticketed. I guess he was on a median and he wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And he says, I said, well, what do you do when you don't have the money to pay the ticket? And he says, well, they said something about community service.
Yeah.
But he said, I'm trying to get out of here. He's trying to get back home. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, they'll eventually put out a warrant and you'll sit it out in jail. You're not supposed to be able to be put in jail because you don't have any money, but that's really what it turns into.
Okay. I was just wondering the procedure.
Yeah.
I was trying to get my son in trouble because he was doing a lot. He was getting away with a lot. Yeah. He was a minor. But they had so many other things they had to deal with. They just didn't. And they knew I was like on his butt. So, they kind of left it up to me. Is there a lot of kids over there or?
Oh, I don't think so. Sometimes there'd be about 6 of us or something,
Yeah.
I don't come up to the north side that often. I was staying all the way in Bessemer, so.
Okay.
But my grandmother's in Parkview right now, and so I stopped by there at lunch, and she wasn't in her room, so I thought, well, I'll go try to make a few bucks. And
yeah.
I have like $3 towards the goal. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Tomorrow may be better, but
yeah.
I'm gonna start making my way back towards Parkview and see if I can catch her before she goes to bed, and then go up towards the library and charge my phone for a while.
Is she okay?
No, she's 93. She broke her second hip a couple weeks back. It's really tough. She's my last grandparent. I'm the only family she has in this town.
How old are you?
41.
You're 41?
About 42 next week, next Tuesday.
Well, happy early birthday. I hope you find a warm bed. I'd help you if I could. I can't. I'm broke.
Don't worry about it. But yeah. I have one friend that contacted me today. He said he lives over in Belmont.
Yeah.
And he would probably put me up for the night if I buy him beer.
Well,
so,
you got $2.
That's worth it. That's worth it, couple bucks in beer for a place to stay is worth it. So
yeah.
I may try to plug in my phone for a minute to see if I can't get him to talk him into it. So.
Was heroin your drug of choice, or how did you start doing drugs?
Oh, we all started smoking pot when we were kids and stuff,
Yeah.
But no, I didn't start messing with heroin. I mean, I tried heroin, when I was 20 or whatever. Didn't get very serious into it. I lost a lot of friends over the years to it. Yeah. I've been to a lot of funerals. It's been pretty sad.
I'm so sorry.
But no, just about 5 years ago, I had this really terrible breakup. I was fixing to marry this girl and everything, and we were very serious, and that fell apart. She moved away, and I came back to Pueblo, and I was so depressed. I was torn up, and so I started using pretty heavy, not really heavy, but on a daily basis heroin at that point.
Yeah.
And then now it's been 5 years.
Wow.
So then the longest break I've had in that 5 years was that 5.5 months. No, that was 2 years ago.
I'm so sorry. How old were you when you started smoking pot?
13.
13.
Sure.
Did it go okay, for a while though? You could handle it? Because you said you just started heroin just 5 years ago, so.
I've done it off and on for 20 years, but on a daily basis, this last 5 years has just been a mess.
It just got out of control.
Well, it's just once your body gets hooked on it, you can't live without it.
Yeah.
Once you become dependent, it becomes such an issue. Because you can't function without it.
Because they say you get really sick without it.
You can't walk, you can't move, you can't get out of bed, but you can't sleep either. So it's not it's terrible. So yeah, you're just non-functionable without it. So you need it just to be normal.
Yeah. Have you tried to get in treatment here? Like when you were in detox, did they offer you any treatment at was it Health Solutions or something?
I didn't really think about that.
I don't know what the procedure is. My one friend, her daughter, she was in detox, and we found a place for her to go after, but she took off before we got there because she knew what we wanted, and she wasn't ready for that.
I'm not necessarily looking for a lot of treatment, personally. I mean, I did fine for those 5.5 months on, a couple Suboxones a week.
Okay.
I wasn't even taking Suboxone every day. And my roommates in the next room were smoking heroin every day.
Wow, and you were able to stay away from it?
I was fine. I was so happy to be off of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the Suboxone really helped. It really, really helped. So I know I could do that again.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best with that.
Sure.
I know that
Thank you.
I talk to a lot of doctors. I know a lot of them are getting more trained where they can, because they have to go through like a certification to be able to prescribe that.
Yeah, I read about that.
And especially the ER docs are just like so overwhelmed with, all the addictions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I went to the ER the other day before I went to detox.
Yeah. You're pretty bad.
Yeah, no, so I don't know,
Well, I wish you the best.
Sure,
Is there
thank
anything you need the community to know? Like, I know I said 5 minutes is all we talk, but...
Sure. No, I can't really comment on the larger picture. I don't have a grasp on it.
Okay.
I just don't. I can't really comprehend what could be done. I think if we could get more people on Suboxone, I think it would be... Because I talk to a lot of people that hate it, but that's just because they don't want to quit,
Yeah.
And then I talk to a lot of people that really like it. But, they slip up once, and the doctor cuts them off and kicks them out of the program for good. Well, fuck that. That's screwy.
Well, when it comes to addiction, relapse is, unfortunately, what I have seen, just my personal experience, it's part of the process.
Yeah, it's part of recovery. That's what they teach you.
Yeah.
Relapse is part of recovery.
But then you have a plan in place when you do relapse so you don't beat yourself up,
Yeah, well, so it's tough because, these doctors, cut these kids off after, one little fuck up, and then they're screwed. They can't go back to the Suboxone, so now they're stuck on dope again. And there's got to be a process in place to get them back, in the program. So I think that would make a difference. I do. I think it'd make a difference to the community.
Awesome.
But
See, that's good to know.
know.
That's good to know. Do you think any of those people over there would want to talk to me?
You would have to ask. I could not speak for them.
Sure. Do they come back and forth? Because I probably wouldn't walk.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't even tell you that they're over there. They're not supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't guess. But I saw some people going through there, but sometimes they just walk through there to go over to Walmart and stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right.
But I mean, are you working for a newspaper? Are you writing a book?
I'm just...
Like, are you doing a blog? Like,
I blog. Okay. I have my own YouTube channel and I blog. It's not much is on there, but I speak out against legalizing drugs because my son got into these products at a young age and he went into psychosis. Have you ever seen marijuana induced psychosis where people are like really paranoid?
Oh yeah, and that's why I don't smoke it anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it makes me intensely paranoid. I think everybody's laughing at me. It makes me feel terrible.
Oh yeah. And that's what happened to him. And then they told him, well, you just have a weak brain. You can't handle your drugs. And it really messed him up.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, well, and then he was so messed up he tried to kill himself.
Oh yeah, no, I can understand that. No, it can get you very depressed when somebody messes with you in that kind of state.
Yeah. And then like
real.
When I speak out to like other youth and stuff, I'm like, listen, this isn't good stuff. It can really mess with you. They're like, well, and he did move on to meth and heroin. But he, people are like, well, he wasn't on heroin. He didn't die of a heroin overdose. So, it doesn't matter what you say. And I'm like, listen, this is not good, not for our kids and not our community. So it's really strong, potent stuff.
It is. We're better off with the marijuana legal. Absolutely, though. It cut out all that Mexican marijuana that used to be here. It's just not for everybody. Just like alcohol's not for everybody. Just like coffee's not for everybody.
So it did get you paranoid, and then you just quit smoking it.
gradually phased out. You know, there were years when I would only smoke it at like concerts and stuff. You know, that way I wouldn't have to interact with people. You know, there'd be something to focus on when I was stoned. You know, but I just kind of gradually, I just stopped being